David Morrell loses to David Benavidez over 12 rounds. Benavidez basically dominated the fight over the weekend. And it went against my prediction. I predicted for David Morrell to beat David Benavidez by a knockout, which was more hopeful than anything else, to be honest with you. And you should actually be able to tell by the way that review video was broken down. I did say David Benavidez was the smart choice over the 12-round distance. I did say he's not going to stop David Morrell. I was hoping David Morrell would have enough to stop David Benavidez. But as the fight started and progressed through the rounds, I could see that David Benavidez has too much experience for this fighter. This is a novice pro. He's not a standout amateur. He wasn't winning big things in the amateur scene. He won some local to his area titles as a junior. Some Cuban titles he won as a junior. As a senior, he didn't win anything in the amateurs. He had about 135 fights, lost 5. So he did have a successful amateur career in that sense, but he didn't have any accolades in his amateur career to make me think that he's going to go to the pros and deal with the pros. He started off well in the pros, having some good opponents and beating them well, but David Benavidez proved to be too good for him, and David Benavidez isn't that good in my opinion. The 12 rounds was, for me, it was like a 10-2, 9-3 type of fight in terms of rounds won and lost, where Morrell obviously won 3 or won 2. David Benavidez winning the rest. And David Benavidez, I didn't see this monster. His nickname is The Monster, El Monstruo, Bandura Roja, red flag and all these things. It's red flag, the monster. I didn't see no monstrous behavior in that ring at all. I did not see no monstrosity. I did not see a monster in there. There was no monster in there. Yes, you was going forward. Yes, you was dominating the fight. Yes, you were controlling the ring. But I didn't see you be a monster in there. I didn't see David Morrell hurt in there any given point in the fight. I didn't see him stumble. Obviously, I didn't see him drop. And obviously, I didn't see him get knocked out. You didn't do any of that stuff. And you're supposed to be some sort of monster. I can't see a monster. And for me, the only red flag I saw were them comments that you made in the post-fight interview, my guy.
If you look at my track record now, I have a pretty good resume. Not pretty good, I have a really good resume. So
what did you say in the corner? You looked at the camera on TV, you said something, but we couldn't hear the audio, obviously.
I said, this is Monsters World. I said, we're in Monsters World right now. I'm going to be the face of boxing soon, and I feel like I could really, take over the sport.
Are you in the pound-for-pound list?
I think this puts me in the pound-for-pound list, probably number 9, 10. I mean, I'm 6.
These guys just got an overinflated sense of self. It was ridiculous. At the end of the day, he's supposed to be the mandatory now, because this was a title eliminator for the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. And Turki Al-Sheikh has invited David Benavidez to Saudi to be ringside for that fight, to then basically get into the ring afterwards and stand in front of the victor talking about, I'm going to fight you next. And for me, since the fight, David Benavidez has done everything in his power to say that he doesn't want to take that fight.
That's the one thing they talk about, like Turki Al-Sheikh, and they say, would you ever fight with them over there in Riyadh? But at the end of the day, all my fan base is here in Las Vegas. I'm a Las Vegas fighter, you know what I mean? I would love to go over there and fight, but this is my market right here, and I feel like we're doing really well. We just sold out T-Mobile Arena, you know what I mean? It's one of this dream come true to me, you know what I mean? And I want to take advantage of this market, because I've worked 11 years this is my first time having a freaking crowd like that, so I want to stay here. And I think that fight would be even bigger here, to be honest with you.
Money talks. Money talks, and if you don't want to have this fight because you think that you want to have it in Vegas or whatever else, then what are you trying to do? You're trying to talk yourself out of the fight, because if there's an A-side, B-side situation, you are not that A-side at all. And plus, the money is with Turki Al-Sheikh, and he's serving up money for all of you fighters. So what you need to do is get yourself over there and fight the winner of that fight. But you won't, because you're so hung up and hell-bent on fighting the little guy Canelo Alvarez, who's so much smaller than you, but you've been crying about him for I don't even know how long now. From before Canelo got up to super middleweight, you've been crying about how you want to fight Canelo Alvarez. It's ridiculous, because at the end of the day, you said you moved up to this weight because you couldn't be bothered with Canelo anymore. But you still are talking about Canelo. And I know that the reporters are asking you questions about Canelo, but it's for you to say, stop talking to me about Canelo. Why are we talking about Canelo? He's got nothing to do with me. I've got nothing to do with him. He's a whole weight class below me, and I'm probably moving up. He's talking about he wants to fight Zurdo Ramirez up there at cruiserweight, which you probably are a cruiserweight. I see David Benavidez as the Mexican Tony Bellew in terms of their physique and their build. Tony Bellew was a very slim, skinny super middleweight who ended up fighting comfortably at heavyweight, knocking out David Haye in the process twice. And I'm seeing David Benavidez as more than likely that heavyweight as well. He's got the same height. I think he's actually a bit taller than Tony Bellew. And he's got the exact same build and structure. And he still looks like he's out of shape at this weight, because this type of body structure can't necessarily be defined. But for me, he should be fine. He should be definitely looking. If he was a warrior and he's gone up to this weight class to go and be undisputed up at this weight class, which is light heavyweight, then you're one fight away from that, because these guys have got all the belts. So whoever wins that fight will be undisputed. And so your fight with the winner of that fight will be for the undisputed title. So you're just one fight away. You don't have to go and collect belts. It's all been done for you. You just get in the ring and fight one of those guys. You're mandatory. You're talking about walking around with this WBC title that you don't have. It's crazy. But anyway, done well. I suppose you won the fight in convincing fashion. But you guys need to come off this high horse. You are not as good as you think you are. You're just not. He said he's got a great resume. What are we talking about? Your resume's dead, bruv. It's absolutely dead. I could go on and on about this, but anyway, let's see what happens next for David Benavidez. David Morrell, you still got a future in this sport. You know, you've got a lot of things to improve in terms of how you attack and such like. I suppose you made a good account of yourself in there, because you did drop David Benavidez in the 11th round, but because of your petulance and your lack of professionalism and lack of experience, at the end of that round, you got that point deducted. The point that you gained, you had it deducted from you because you punched after the bell. What are you doing that for? What was that all about? Childlike behavior. It was ridiculous for me. But anyway, well done, David Benavidez. And David Morrell can come back and fight another day. He needs to climb back up the rankings to get himself into the light heavyweight title contention, if he stays at light heavyweight, because he moved up from super middleweight as well. I don't know, he might think to go back down, or he might even go up again. I don't think so. I think he more likely stay at light heavyweight or go back down to super middleweight. But we'll see what goes on going forward from there. But you need to build yourself a career, bro. Build yourself a little resume now. You lost to David Benavidez. Go and get about 4, 5, 6 wins behind you, and then go for a title again, if anything. And as for David Benavidez, please go and fight the winner of Beterbiev versus Bivol. You need that in your life. Yeah? You ain't had no good fights. You need that fight in your life. Alright? I'll see you guys in the next video.